Number 7, they give you this equation. They say that the cost of doing R radios is by this formula, 525 times R plus 125. 525 times R is basically saying the cost per radio, because per in this case is going to mean multiplication. Okay, so it's choice number 3. Number 8 looks like another example where they want you to complete the square. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take half of 6 and square it. Half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Whatever you add to one side, you got to do to the other. I get x minus 3 squared equals 21. Now in this case, they don't really want you to go any further. They just want to know which one's equivalent to. Choice number 2. And number 9, a ball is thrown into the air, and then this is the path that it takes. From this point on, from 0 seconds all the way to about 2.5 seconds, the ball is going up. But then from 2.5 seconds to about 5.5 seconds, the ball is going down. Okay, they are asking you for which interval is the ball's height always decreasing. So in this case, the height is decreasing, decreasing, and decreasing. Okay, what's the interval of the x values? It looks like it's between 2.5 to 5.5. Number 10, it looks like they want you to solve this using the quadratic formula. So here is my quadratic formula. This is the equation they want you to use. So I identify my a, b, and c values. A is the coefficient of x squared, so it's 1. B is your coefficient of x, so that's 4. Your c is, in this case, negative 16. Now all I am doing is substituting these values throughout this formula. Now I look to simplify. X equals negative 4 plus or minus 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times 1 times negative 16 is negative 64 all over 2. X equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 80 all over 2. Square root of 80, if you remember, can be simplified. It can be broken up into square root of 16 times the square root of 5. The square root of 16 is a perfect square. It's the whole number 4. So 4 square root of 5, I am going to replace the square root of 80 with 4 square root of 5 all over 2. Now, if I divide all of these by 2, I get negative 2 plus or minus, this should be a 1, not a 2. Sorry about that. 2 square root of 5. This looks like it's choice number 2. What is the correlation coefficient of the linear fit of the data shown below to the nearest hundredth? Remember, since the points go down, the correlation coefficient is negative. If I were to put a line of best fit through here, it's going down from left to right, so I can eliminate choices 1 and 2 because they're positive. Since the points do not form an exact straight line, the correlation coefficient cannot be equal to 1. A correlation coefficient of 1 or negative 1 means the points form basically a perfectly straight line. Well, these points are kind of clustered around the line. They're not really forming a straight line. So I'm going to say it's close to negative 1, again, because it's going down, but it can't be exactly negative 1. So choice number 3. This is one of those questions where you have to work backwards. They're telling you they want basically the answers to your quadratic equation to be negative 6 and 5. So working backwards, if you remember, I have negative 6 and 5. So that means before that, my step would have looked like this. Because if you remember, to solve, you have to subtract. In this case, you have to add. And then this is why I get negative 6 and positive 5. Well, if I put those factors together, Okay, here's my quadratic equation. Now in this case, they just want, they're basically looking for the graph. So y or f of x is going to equal x plus 6 times x minus 5. Okay, f of x and y are the same thing. So x plus 6 and x minus 5, choice number 3. Remember, the factors are opposite signs of the answers, the roots.